Yes, people, how you doing? Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Ramblings. It's episode three of Conspiracy Corner. It is, of course, only cans. If you are here, you have to have a drink, you have to be open-minded, and you have to engage with the tin foil hats. That's what we do here. That's what we do. Of course, I'm back with Nikos and with Eugene. How are you, Nikos? I'll start with you, my man. You good?
Good, mate. Thank you very much, actually. Yeah, weather's changed here over the last week or so. So just reacclimatizing, mate, out here in Spain, you don't like the cold weather so much, so getting the warm clothes out, kids down with flu and stuff from school. God. But no, all good, mate. Can't complain. Got your health, got your wealth.
Nice. Love that. And talking about having your wealth, Eugene almost didn't have his. He lost his. He thought he lost his private keys or whatever to his crypto.
Hey,
how are you, Eugene? Good to see you, mate.
No health, no wealth, but I'm here. I got my head on. I'm ready.
You got a little bit of Bitcoin. It's a little bit of wealth, I suppose.
Yeah, just to make my wife happy.
Until that giant crash happens, that will happen at some point, no doubt, when these bastards ruin our digital crypto livelihoods as well. It is what it is. Shout out to the guys in the chat. Matey Adventure, good to see you, my man. Listen, we are going to be talking a little bit about the grey pope, the black pope, the white pope, etc. Good to see you, Destiny, my man. I hope you're all happy and healthy. Temiraka, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Scott Spurs in the house as well. And, of course, El Dantorino. There's 15 people here. Remember, last time we got to 22 concurrent live viewers in our episode 1. Episode 2, we got to 44 concurrent live viewers. I only made 46, actually. Can we get to the big 50 today? Can we get to the big 50?
Just want to say thanks to all these people that are tuning in. It's good to see there's more like-minded people that this sort of stuff resonates with, and let these seeds grow into trees. Like every little bit of information, take it on board. Don't take my word for it, or Sean's word for it, or Eugene's word for it. Go looking more for it yourself, and that's the whole journey. The conspiracy.
If you guys are in UK, you might want to use the VPN for this. You never know. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Just saying.
Got a VPN for my VPN. I'm so paranoid about this Keir Starmer Burke. What's he doing to us? Eh? Absolute nightmare. You need a license to have a wank in the UK these days. It's absolutely outrageous, man. Absolutely outrageous.
Right. It's gone to shit, mate. It's gone to shit. When I first moved here 20 years ago, I remember used to have to walk down the high street in the UK and you wouldn't see a single black person or a few, no Muslims, no immigrants, and just now it's just a disaster. When I watch these videos, I feel really sad for that country. I feel really, it's my homeland, but just I don't miss it at all.
Just yeah, same, mate. I mean, listen, I don't know. Is Spain any better? Doesn't Spain already have a digital ID?
Actually, similar thing. Actually, when they first had the credit cards here, like years ago, the debit cards, and they all was like a mainstream thing in like the 90s, whatever it was. You used to have to show your like passport every time you made a transaction with your like debit, Visa card, MasterCard, or whatever. But now they have like it's paper. There's not like a digital ID like they try and do in the UK, but they have all these crazy documentation issues here. It's very complicated since Brexit. It's been very difficult for the expats here and stuff in Spain. But there is, as much immigration problems here as there are in the UK. It's the same kind of issues. The beautiful thing about Spain is about 500 million times bigger than the UK. The UK is like a tiny little island that's easily controlled, so they're a lot more scattered around, and you don't kind of notice it quite as much. But
it's even bigger on the flat Earth map than it is on the globe map, eh, Nikos?
There we go, mate. We'll get to that one day, mate. Don't tarnish me like brush too much, mate. But like I said, I'll stick by my convictions.
I ain't kidding, man. I ain't kidding. Listen, like I can say, I'm open-minded. All we want from people here is 25 of us here, by the way. We're 4 minutes in, and we're already at 25 live. We love that. Just be open-minded. I'm not married to any particular nonsense that the media portray or the narrative we're told. So, listen, if the Earth is flat, it is flat. If the Earth is hollow, it's hollow. I don't care. Show me where the aliens are. Just show me the aliens. That's what I want to see. I want to see them big, green, white, wherever they are. I don't care. Just show me some alien stuff. Anyway, guys, let's get into... So I still haven't managed to get the Wheel of Doom, the Wheel of Fortune figured out yet because I've been a little bit sick all week, and apologies for anyone who was looking forward to a show before now. So we're still doing the old routine. I've got about 25 videos. I haven't looked at any of them, but we're just going to pick them up randomly. And but I do endeavour. My intentions are to have a random lottery picker. But we'll start there and just see where we go with it, shall we? And then we'll have just random conversations. Obviously, for those of you that I've been seeing the comments, people in the comments have been saying, listen, it's all good just jumping around shallow diving, but at some point pick a topic and go deep down the rabbit hole, and we absolutely will. But for the time being, we're just trying to get our feet under the table here on the rabbit hole ramblings. Let's have a look at video numero uno, shall we? Let's see what this one is.
When all these dinghies were coming across the channel, what happens to the dinghies? Where do they all go? The next lot have all got pristine life jackets on, and it's being exposed that actually they're running them back to France so they can be recycled to bring more across. Migrants are coming in, that's terrible. Migrants, they're welcome and all that stuff. All along at this cult level that works through all these political sides is actually making the whole migrant thing happen. So why are they? Because they want a civil war. And when you have that, of course, then you start saying, well, we've got to have draconian measures to respond to this and so on.
So for years, the policy of employing certain types of people as police officers rather than your Bobby on the beat that was ingrained in the community, knew everyone's name, knew the shopkeeper, they don't exist anymore.
I speak to police officers fairly often. I've got a couple that are friends, and they're tearing their hair out, and a lot of them have taken early retirement. So these decent coppers are now getting out.
The first video, political. Why do we always do it this way?
You said you would avoid the political stuff, but that's like the epitome of it.
Yeah, of course it is. Everything's a bit political. Yeah, look, forget
Maybe
about
Dyke went from lizard people to politics. Interesting.
What's that, mate? Say again?
He went from lizard people to politics.
Yeah, 100%. The lizard people are certainly in charge. But listen, we'll steer clear of the political side of the immigration thing. Don't want that hot potato. But the reality is that non-government organisations are in charge of that whole thing, right? It is a tactic to divide and conquer, and to and those sorts of things. I've seen those videos before of those lorries that are loaded up with dinghies that have been confiscated, and they're supposed to be like punctured with bullets or with knives or whatever, and destroyed, but they're not. They're loaded up onto trucks and sent back across the ferry back to Calais. You know,
this is a problem reaction solution. They're allowing this. You know, like the borders would be quite easily protected in the UK if they actually wanted to, but they're actually paying for these immigrants to come in to start a civil war and probably the start of a religious war. You know, it's a Christian country. You know, the UK, bringing a lot of Muslims, and you know, eventually at some point there's going to be an event that happens between the lot of them, and yeah. That's how they're going to implement probably the digital ID system. You know, you can prove that you're actually British and not one of these guys, you know, and people will just walk straight into the trap.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I don't want to get, let's move away from that.
I chose my words carefully.
Let's roll the dice and see what else is coming up. I don't want to get wait until we've got a specific audience before we start getting into the deep realms of politics, because you don't know you're going to offend people.
Sensor in Europe loads the gun and get.
Sorry, say that again, mate.
I say it's just the reality of it, and you know, even just the layman in the UK, the middle working class, you know, they're aware of this situation now as well. You know, it's a big problem.
Yeah, it is. It is 100%.
The centre in Europe loads the gun and gets America to fire it. The real power is in Europe, not in the European governments, in the centre of this secret society, transnational corporation. Then in every other country, you have the subsidiary networks answering to the headquarters in the centre, so that they control that country's government, banking, media. Thus, the same things being introduced in country after country after country, whether a Republican or a Democrat is in power, this network is always in power. There's all these different countries with all this potential, and yet everywhere you go, you have political parties. Is that the only way we can think about structuring politics? No, it's not, but it's the only way, or the best way, to control politics in every country. We live, in effect, in a global one-party, one-cabal state.
Does feel a little bit one-party system, right? Again, it's still politics.
Yeah.
Who got me these bloody videos? Who sorted these videos out for me? Sack the video finder for crying out loud.
Mate, someone's put David Icke all over your feed, mate. He's not looking so crazy anymore, is he? He was a crazy cricketer once. Now he's turning out to be the king of conspiracies. You know, he must be doing well for himself financially.
You know what I've always thought about David Icke? Two things, right? One is I've loved him. Like I stumbled into his book, The Biggest Secret, in like 1999. It was the first book I ever. I don't know how I found it. I read it, fell in love with it. And then Alex Jones, when he predicted 9/11 in the sun before it happened, and then you see those two both just sort of exploded in their own different departments. But I've always felt like David Icke is a little bit jealous of the fame and the fortune that Alex Jones got, you know. And it's like back in that time, you've got like American capitalism versus like England's sort of baby bro version of capitalism. And David Icke stayed sort of like fairly big time within the conspiracy circles, but still owns like a 1-bedroom flat in the Isle of Wight. Whereas Alex Jones has amassed like a fortune of $400 million or whatever. And I've always felt like David Icke's probably closer to the truth, but just doesn't have the marketability that Alex Jones has.
The beauty of the internet, you know, David Icke used to do seminars, so you used to have to pay like 200 quid to go and hear him talk, and his seminars were notoriously long. So it was like a 5-hour, 6-hour ramble about, you know, what actually is going on in the world. And I know people from the city that used to go to these things, used to pay good money to go and listen to this guy talk for 6 hours. You know, and this is what, in the late 90s, early 2000s. But since the internet's come around, his information has been shared widely, worldwide. And now he's a cult hero in certain conspiracy circles. Yeah,
I think he's banned from like 140 countries worldwide. He's banned in more countries than like methamphetamine.
You don't get banned from countries unless you're saying something that is close to the nerve either. So, you know, just a little bit of critical thinking. You know, like I say, he's probably more right about a lot of stuff than people have realised, you know. But I don't watch much of his stuff. I'm not too familiar with a lot of his stuff, but I just know that, you know, the core belief systems that he's kind of tried to get across to the conspiracy world, you know, all probably turned out to be right. You know, how many times we talk about reptiles and what's under the ground and who's running the governments and shapeshifters and all this stuff, you know, and he was talking about this stuff 20 years ago.
Yeah, that Eugene, that's what's kind of terrifying about him, right? Is that all of the things that he predicted would happen. He predicted central banking digital currencies before it was a thing. He predicted one world government. He predicted one world army. He predicted one world religion. He predicted the three world wars. I think we spoke about that last week with the geezer who's the head Freemason, whose name escapes me right now. He talks about all these. Albert Pike, yeah. He talks about all these things. And if he's right about all of the stuff that you can see happening, if you can see like the religious war, the business war with China, all of those things that are materializing, if he's right about all of that, then is he also right about the things that are a little bit more outlandish? Like when he said the world is run by pedophiles and Satanists, you know? And people are like, what are you talking about? And then, of course, the reptilian thing. He was the guy that was talking about reptiles before anybody else. He was early on the reptile thing, Eugene. What are you saying, man?
I mean, I've never been a big follower. I know who he is, but to be fair, to play devil's advocate, I'm sure if he, you know, has 1,000 conspiracies, then 1, 2, or 3 are going to come true. It doesn't mean he, you know, he's right about everything. So same with Alex Jones. A lot of the stuff that he's saying came true. I mean, the difference between him and Ike is Alex Jones is an entertainer. Like when you watch him, even though like I don't really care much for him, he's entertaining. I can just watch him all day, just rant and ramble. With Ike, he's not as fun to listen to. As far as what he's been right about, you know, I mean, some things I'm sure he's right about, but if you look at his whole body of work, I'm sure there's some stuff that's outlandish. But again,
for me, the turn off of Alex Jones is it feels forced, you know, like the way he delivers his message, it feels very fake, you know, that's the right way of putting it. It feels like falsified, the way he gets really aggressive and up tempo. You know, I'm sure that's like a theatrical act to try and entertain in a certain way, but I find David Icke's a little bit more easily comprehensible because it is not so forced, it's not so aggressive. I don't know, it depends on your flavor, I suppose.
I like them both. I can't watch too much of. See, what I like to do is, but before bed, right? I'll go and put on like a like, I don't know, the Y-Files or something and fall asleep to one of those episodes or whatever else, right? They affect my dreams in brilliant ways. Like, you never know where you're going to be astral planing before you realize it in your dreams, right? But Alex Jones is a little bit too shouty, and David Icke is a little bit too, I mean, I probably take a little bit from him in this regard, but a little bit too waffly. He'd enough go on, you know. If you ask him a question like, what did you have for dinner yesterday? He'll say, well, it all started when I was 3. It was a beautiful blue, and he goes through every single moment of his life up until that egg and chips that he had on his plate last night. And I just feel like sometimes get to the point a little bit quicker. It's also interesting that Joe Rogan has never had him on. Joe Rogan's had everybody on his podcast, but he's never had David Icke. And I always wonder
That's a
why.
good point. That's actually, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe, I mean, Rogan, Alex Jones episodes are legendary. Like, actually, when I'm bored, I go on and I rewatch them with like Tim Dillon and Alex Jones. It's just the entertainment value is top notch. As far as if it's actually true or the facts, that's secondary, right? Like, it's tough to say who's right, who's wrong. But yeah, David Icke, yeah, he's more dry. He doesn't have the personality of Alex Jones. So it's not a surprise that he didn't make it as far as Alex Jones did. But actually, I'm interested to see where their messages intersect. I'm sure when they talk about this, you know, the global world order and all that stuff, like the intersection piece, that's what's interesting to me. Where, because Jones talks about lizard people and all that stuff, but it's interesting where their stuff intersects.
That's a good message you got on the screen there, Sean. He refuses to listen to Eric Dubay. Like, if you want to go down the conspiracy hole of what we live on and where we are, the king of that is Eric Dubay. He done the original book from, I think it was a remake of an old book from 100 years ago. It was the 100 Proofs.
100 Proofs the Earth is Flat. Or
he did a revised version of 200 Proofs. Very, very articulate. And, you know, when I was on my journey of trying to understand a lot of that stuff, he was a big help in it. So that person who put that in the comment there, yeah, that's the right path.
I've never heard of him. I'll check it out.
He hasn't been Rogan won't have him, or he won't have David Icke.
Yeah, Eric Dubay wanted to do a debate with Neil deGrasse, my ass Tyson. That geezer. Listen, I'm not sure about the flat Earth thing, but if there's one donut that I can't stand more than anyone else in the fake science bullshit world, is that guy. He is someone that, because he's intelligent, he's a smart guy, because he's smart on astrophysics. If we're even going to give him that credit, right? Because he's smart in that department, he thinks he then has the right. His opinion is more valid than everybody else's on every other topic, on politics, on food, on sport, whatever else. And he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, which he might be on many things. But he has such a disdain for the average American. Like he almost thinks like people can't see through his absolute bollocks. And he can talk in circles until you give up and go, yeah, you're right, I'll just let you have it because you're more intelligent. He isn't. He's a fucking idiot.
This is the problem. This is the problem with like his high level Freemasons. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson is a high level Freemason. He's, you know, quite. I think he's self-admitted it actually quite a few times. And they have no shame in it or whatever. They think they're better than everybody else. That's why he's got this kind of chip on his shoulder. Remember, I said him on the last episodes. You know, I see a shit salesman when I look at Elon Musk. Like when I first watched him, like all the flags went off in like the first minute of listening to him. I can't even tolerate him. I can't listen to a word he said. You just know he's lying. But again,
I've got to say with the Elon Musk thing, because like I think that a lot of humanity looks at people like him, looks at people like Donald Trump. Again, part of the politics. But if you might despise Donald Trump as a person, think he's an absolute wretched human being. But if you believe that the world is being run by a certain cabal of people and you don't like where it's going, and then you see the way that they have treated him in at least the theatre of politics, then you think, oh, he's our last chance or whatever. Him and people like him that are fighting against the tyranny. And Elon Musk is another one that's represented as that. And if you're someone that gets sucked into all that, and again, I don't know enough about Elon Musk to know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't think there's any such thing as a good billionaire. But the reality is that I remember going, hang on, something doesn't work here. When he sent his own Tesla up into space, and it was just floating around in space for like, you know, I think you can still watch the Tesla space cam, whatever it's called, right?
Have you not seen they've debunked that? Have you not seen the debunked video of that where it was actually just a studio and the screen faulted that was behind it. That was all bullshit. You think? Do you honestly think there's a Tesla S flying around in space just on a little journey? Like, come on.
Well, I don't know. But what I do know is that he said his justification was that they did absolutely no modifications to the car at all, right? So if that's true, then the car would implode in the vacuum of space. It wouldn't survive if the vacuum of space is what it is. So it's one of those things where you have to remember these things as you go along, because otherwise you're going to go like, yeah, Elon Musk he's the guy saving us from his free speech and all this shit. But wait a minute, he blatantly fucking lied about that stupid car floating around in space, right?
I mean, he's sending satellites, so I mean, at least he knows how to send things into space. So I wouldn't be shocked. But again, I'm biased because
maybe I don't want to pop like the Eugene Elon bubble, but it's salesman. But you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. That's one of the best advertising campaigns that you'll get to sell a car.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
Johnny Boy's back in the team. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
Hey,
nice to see you, John.
Good to see you all.
Mate. Eugene meet John. John meet Eugene. Eugene's latest member of the Quadrant of Death. But Johnny Boy is one of the early. When we were doing this on Sean Butler TV last year, Johnny and Nikos was my go-to trio. So we're expanding the bubble. It's good, you know.
Johnny's a dog whisperer.
We're like the four musketeers now, aren't we?
Shotgun D'Artagnan. That's my call. Good to see everyone in the chat. By the way, we're up to 46 people. We're 4 people short of a new record, I think. So be good to see if we can get there on today's show and the live concurrent. Let's move on to the next video and see where we're up to.
By the year 2025, the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance, the human power elite.
The character uncovered that the world was controlled by entities hiding behind human form, produced by a guy called John Carpenter.
They Live is a documentary about what's going on now.
And it is. This is where the elite interbreeding with each other comes from. They're holding this particular software, this reptilian force, this archontic force, whatever you want to call it. Because this software has no empathy, they can use them as a vehicle and simply direct their behavior and create the horrific things that happen in the world. When we talk about hybrid bloodlines, we're actually talking about hybrid energetic fields. When there is a shift and the other field becomes the dominant one, anyone who is observing that shift sees it holographically. It's because the possessing entity's information field, it's impacting more and more on the field that the observer is decoding. The only place that shifting takes place physically is in the decoding systems of the brain. And so we're looking at these people and they appear to be human, but they're very different.
This goes back to the 13 bloodlines. Remember we spoke before on one of the episodes before about the 13 bloodlines.
Yep.
People are probably familiar with them. It's like Rothschild, Rockefeller, Astor, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis, Russell, Dineen, and Merovassian or something like this. The Rothschild family, the name Rothschild originates from the son of Ra. John will probably be able to somehow enlighten us on this one a little bit. But the name Rothschild, they believe that they actually have the lineage blood of the son of Ra. So they believe they've got like inferior bloodlines. This is why they interbreed with each other. They don't have families outside of their bloodlines. It explains all the inbreeding they do.
Yeah. First and foremost, just quickly, I don't know who got me these videos, but while we got
David Icke sent them to you.
More David Icke on the bounce. Hopefully, there's no more David Icke. Otherwise, I'm going to get a letter from Iconic Media saying cease and desist. You're copying our content. You know, get him on exactly. Johnny Boy, do you know much about this? The Archontic force, my man.
Yes, I've been looking into that for quite a while. I think I originally got into the area of it through reading Icke's book. I don't trust that guy at all. I know someone who's met him and just said his energy was really off. It just got a really bad negative feeling from him. Just didn't want to be around him. I have actually seen someone's eyes shape shift black, completely black, like black oil.
You have personally?
Yeah,
He
over
told us
fringe.
he told us before on the pre. I've actually thought about that a lot since we spoke about that. John told me he was in a room and he saw the eyes change, and they noticed that he noticed, and I remember that.
Was he
Daniel Levy?
top G or something, or who was he? In fact,
No, it was a lady. It was two people where I was working once, and yeah, one of them, her eyes just went black as if like oil. You know, it's like something in the X-Files when you see like these people where their eyes like go black and then they go back again.
Yeah.
Her eyes went black and she turned away from me like that. And the other one looked at her like as if to say,
Really?
"Oh, shit, he just saw that." And then maybe a couple of weeks after, they got rid of me because I was in a work placement, and they just like turned on me completely and went, "You're out. We don't want you here." And yeah, it was like really obvious that like I'd seen that, and then they picked up on it straight away and thought, "We better get him out of here," because yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember that story. From like 6 months ago. I thought about it a lot actually, John.
But it was literally like oil. Her eyes just went like black oil.
I've seen those. I've seen those clips of Joe Biden. Back when Joe Biden was getting accused of being a PDF file, and he was doing those stories about his like the kids were rubbing his hair on his leg or in the swimming pool and all that weird stuff. And there was like a video clip of him with, I think it was Lady Gaga, and as he turns to the camera, just for a split second, his eyes went like dark black, and then he looked away as well and did the same thing. Like there's a few of those kind of those videos out there that when they panic, when they lose their cover, and they have to quickly close their eyes or turn away so that people can't until they readjust or whatever. Pretty weird.
Have
any of you guys seen a YouTube channel called Kaninigan?
No.
So this guy, he's based in America, and his theory is that they're not actually reptilian, they're bird-like creatures. And the reptilian thing was brought in to scare people. So like Ike's agenda was, they're 10-foot tall, huge muscular reptilians. Like there's no way you're going to be able to deal with them. If one of them shapeshifts in front of you, it's going to be like a grizzly bear standing there. So
to be fair, mate, if a human being flipped into a bird, a giant crow in front of me, I'd shit myself as well. Like, don't really matter what it is. If a human being flips into something else, I don't care if he flips into a toad, I'm going to shit myself.
But all you got to do is like throw some crumbs on the ground, and it'll be pecking them up.
Some giant loaves of bread. Yeah. What are you saying, Eugene?
Wow. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe until a couple of years ago, I'd be like, this is all like insanity. But I've been, watching some stuff, but different channels like Jesse Michael stuff and Julian Dory. So they're a bunch of they're the disclosures, they're NASA scientists and like credible people coming out saying interesting things about shapeshifters and this and that, where on one hand I was like, this might be a psyop, right? Like it's interesting how in the last couple of years all the whistleblowers and like all these like ex NASA people are coming out and giving us all this info. On the other hand, it's like you take notice, right? So it's interesting that all this, I know like you guys I'm sure have been into this for a while, but in the public domain, a lot of this info is coming out in the last 2-3 years. So to me, that's interesting. So whether I believe it or not, I'm not sure. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Something is definitely going on. What exactly it is, people can make up their own minds, but it's just interesting. So I'm still learning and trying to figure things out, but the narrative is shifting a bit. The Overton window is shifting, so I think people are waking up to these conversations.
When I lived in America in 2016, I was watching the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump campaign trail, and I was watching this live, right? So obviously I wasn't there, but I was watching it on TV live, and I remember it so vividly that Hillary Clinton is standing on a bus, a coach, or maybe a plane, but I think it was a coach. And she was going from one like pep talk, whatever, rally to the next. And she had all of her crew around her. And she's sitting there talking, listening to someone asking a question. And she blinked, and one of her eyes, her right eye, something happened with her right eye, and it like a cloud went over her right eye, and then the eyeball went like sort of jutted to the outwards. Her other eye was looking straight at the camera or straight at the person that was asking the question. But the other eye, for sure, 100%, like more sure about this than anything else. In regards of how sure I can be, it wasn't a glitch. It wasn't something that happened on the camera. No other part of her body or anything else on the screen glitched. It was just her eye. As she blinked, the fucking thing like darted inwards, and like some sort of clip happened over the top of it. And I'd forgotten all about my conspiracy stuff at that particular point in time. So I wasn't like looking for these things. But as I'm sitting there watching it, I'm going like, what the hell? I will do my best to go, and because it's been wiped from the internet now. But I used to be able to find it. I will do my best to find that video for next week's show, so I can show you guys, because it is it's 100. It's undeniable that something crazy happened in that. Pull it up, Jamie. Says that. Pull that one up, Jamie. Shall we move on to the next video? Let's see if it's not about David.
That radio command link. Actually, it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. That contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack.
Oh, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
It looks so fake now. Like back then, it was like a marvel. People were like, wow, how amazing. And now you can see, it's like, oh my God, how fake is that? Obviously.
Are we all agreed that the moon landings didn't happen?
I think it happened.
No,
you think it happened? You did.
Okay. Yeah, Occam's razor for me. I think it happened, but the footage is probably fake, because it's at that time it was difficult to film and broadcast. So they probably said, why waste all this money and energy? Let's just fake it. But I mean, because now there are the reflectors on the moon. So now, like, if you have a telescope, you can see. So I think it happened, but the footage, a lot of it was fake, probably. I'm just.
It didn't happen.
Again,
if there's no evidence, it didn't happen. If there's no evidence, and that's the best they come out with, that you got to be crazy to believe it, to be honest. You need to spend more time into conspiracies. Like, these guys are not very good at their job. They were, but they're not so much anymore.
What are you saying, Johnny boy?
What about that clip?
About the moon landings, yeah.
Oh, moon landings.
Yeah, that particular clip and the moon landings generally, yeah.
Oh, that clip, no, it's just absolute CGI, isn't it? It's just more programming to get people to believe that that's the shape of the Earth and so on. And moon landings, no, come on, seriously. We can't get a signal with EE where I am here, and that guy sat on the landline and going, "Oh, hello everyone on the moon. Like, how is it up there? You know, have you ordered yourself some pizza yet from Deliveroo?"
Yeah. I'll call you back. I'll call you back.
Yeah, and that piece of junk, they reckon that got them there and back.
It's so ridiculous.
And they're landing on something they don't know what's there. What's it going to be like? Who filmed the bloody thing landing? Who filmed it taking off?
The aliens.
Yeah, I must have done
that. I believe in.
Yeah.
I believe they went to the moon and they saw the alien bases on the dark side of the moon, like the Project Stargate, like the remote viewers saw. I think something is there, and that's why when they came back, they were all like out of it. But
the moon's a luminary. It's not a physical object you can land on, I think. So I think it's just a luminary.
What does a luminary mean?
And light, and it goes round and it lights up. You know, people talk about the dark side of the moon, but I've never been, so like, it's all hypothetical. science.
that I believe. I don't think it's a real like. Yeah, I think it's been put there
You can
for a reason.
You can get those cameras, the Nikon P900s or whatever, and like when they zoom in, you can see the fucking thing is like I don't necessarily know if it's as far away as they say it is. I don't necessarily know if it's made of what they say it is. I've got no idea whether you can get there or whether there's things on the other side of it. I've got no idea about any of that shit. But the idea that it's not a real thing, like it's definitely a real thing. Surely, like are we challenging the actual fabric of reality now?
I'm challenging. That's not a physical object that you're going to go land a rocket on with the technology and an iPhone. I'm just challenging the fact that I think all of the story, if you can't trust a bit of it, you can't trust any of it. So.
I mean, but you can get a telescope and see. No, like it's a real thing. For me, the question is if it's naturally, like if it's natural, or if it was there, if it was put there for a reason to make Earth habitable, right? Because the moon controls, our climate and everything else. So I think it's there for a reason. But I don't know. Like again, I was listening to this NASA doctor guy, like he said he saw like in the 70s, I think, or 80s, he saw the pictures of like bases on the moon that were classified, like so that a lot of that stuff is there, but whether it's luminary or not, I mean, I think it's a real thing. But
think about this, right? Think about this, right?
I don't think it's anywhere near as big as they say it is. I don't think it's anywhere near as far away as they say it is.
It's math, right? You look at the sun, you look at the moon, you look at the eclipse, and you can measure the size and the distance based on.
But the sun doesn't have to. So let me ask you this, right? There's something called the I forget what the term is. It's like basically the math of for every if you double the distance, you half the size of an object. Okay, so like if I'm looking at something that's 5 feet away and it looks like it's this big, then at 10 feet away it looks like it's this big. At 20 feet away, it's like it's this big. It looks half. If you double the distance, you half the size. So when you look at the sun, that's apparently 8 light minutes away from us,
40 million miles or something. Some ridiculous number, isn't it?
If you just work in light minutes, for example, how long it takes for the light to get here, and it's as big as it is. If you then double that, so it's 16 light minutes away, and the sun is then half the size. If you halve it again, you're 32 light minutes away. If you halve it again, so now the sun is 1/8 of the size as it was in the sky, then you're only 32. Sorry, you're about an hour. You're 64 light minutes away. Double it again. It's now not that dissimilar to the size of a star in terms of it's 1/16 of the size of the actual sun. Then it's 2 hours and 8 minutes in terms of light travel time away. Yet you've got fucking the North Pole, or not North Pole, the Polaris, that's something like 379 light years away, and yet it's the brightest star in the sky, or one of the brightest, the second brightest star in the sky. And yet the sun, after like 12 halvings of distance, would be the size of a star, and yet it barely gets to about half a day's worth of light travel away. And then you've got the North Pole, the North Star, that is 369 light years away. Do you know how many like doublings and doublings and doublings and doublings you'd have to get from the sun to get that far away? And yet the Polaris is, you can still see it. It's the second brightest star in the sky. And even if that particular star, according to the maths, is 3,000 times bigger than the sun is, there ain't no way the math works on that. The math doesn't math. I'm sorry, no chance. It doesn't make any sense to me. None of this shit makes any sense.
So let me ask you this. So if we talk conspiracies, so we can talk, right? Like you can have a conspiracy. There's like 100 people, but how many scientists are there like in the world? Are you saying that there is like a conspiracy among like hundreds of thousands of astronomers and physicists to like, I don't know.
They get grants.
They're looking at data, aren't they? When they look at when they take a picture of space with their one of their whatever they called, the observatory things, it's just a big bunch of bloody black with a few dots of light in it, and then there's some formulas and some models that are being applied to work shit out. But if the formulas and the models, I mean, how the fuck can they, like, it's reverse engineerable, right? Like that doesn't even make sense. But you can reverse engineer this nonsense. If they say it's that far, it's that far away as a light in light years, this star. But the reason why you can still see it as brightly as you do is because for it to be that far away and for it to still be visible, then we have to assume that the size of the star is 10,000 times bigger than our local star, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it. So they kind of like fit the numbers to make the distance make sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just to challenge what Eugene said there. Yeah, I absolutely believe that all these scientists and astronomers and these observatories, they are all, I think 99.6% are funded by government. So if you don't complete the narrative and go along with what they're saying, you are closed down and replaced by someone that will. It's as simple as that. It's all run by money. So NASA alone, I think, is their grants last year alone was $26 billion. And in their cumulative funding, so since they've been in operation since the 1960s, they've had 2.6 trillion, which is like inflation adjusted. It's just a scam. But if you don't go along with the scam, you're replaced. Like, I don't know if you know anybody that's been a astrologer or into like official star watching. You know, it's all done through indoctrination through colleges. You go to do these degrees. It's all just about money, money, money. And if you don't do what they say and listen to what they're telling you, like, they usually lose people with the numbers. So when you start talking about all these crazy billions and trillions of light years and all this stuff, it's just people's brains just go, oh, it's a scam. It's all a scam. I promise you.
John, you haven't got to hold your hand up, mate. Just jump in, buddy. It's a free for all here, bro. Just there's no respect,
like but a bit more polite.
I appreciate it. It's very nice of you. Cool. But just jump in whenever you want, mate. It's fine.
Can you play that last link I sent? That shows the sun in the clouds.
I've seen that, yeah.
That's 15 years old, that. So there's no AI in that, no CGI.
It's hard to find. That video's hard to find.
Hang on. This one I'll be doing it. This one, the sun rising under the clouds.
Local sun.
I got into Sean's conspiracy vault.
Oh. It's his old hard drive with the hackers.
So what is this? Is there? Do I need the audio on it?
No. It's a local sun.
That's going to get me demonetized. What's that? It's the sun underneath the clouds?
Yep.
That's 15 years ago, before AI. Yeah.
I mean, sun's local.
That's difficult to explain. Someone get me Neil My Arse Tyson on the phone. Explain that one, Neil, you Burke.
It tells you it's a pear.
And if the moon is a rock, a solid rock, how is it reflecting light? Because rocks don't reflect light.
Luminary.
Isn't it dusty, though? It's dusty on the moon, right?
Have you seen the...
That's wild, though. That is wild.
It is, isn't it? It looks like lava.
It does, yeah.
There was a video I saw a while ago, and someone's got a theory that, you know, where that some people say about the firmament and then water, like levels of water between firmament. And their theory was that the moon, the disc shape of the moon gets submerged in the blue-colored liquid, and that's why you get like the half moon, the quarter moon, because it's actually submerged in the liquid. And then you only see some of it, and that's why it's blue, and it looks like you can see right through it into the sky.
This is the moon, is it?
Yeah.
Are you a flat earther as well, John?
Yeah.
Eugene, we got two flat earthers. We got one globe-tard.
One sitting on the fence getting spinners.
I'm just here to provide, some skepticism and to learn. So I love
it. Listen, I don't know. I've got no idea. I'm not married to anything. By the way, guys, we've broken the new record. 56 live concurrence. Shout out to the chat. Smash the subscribe button if you want some absolute waffle on toast from some of us tonight. It's going to be fantastic. Well, what's the chat saying?
Understanding. Sorry, like, it's not a dick measuring contest like what you believe in. It's just like undoing the indoctrination. It's just like what level are you at of undoing the indoctrination you were given. That's all it is. And someone like me and John, we've obviously put a lot of time into trying to figure out and that search for a little bit of truth, You know, eventually it all comes. You know, we all started from the same place. We all believe we lived on a ball. We all got the same programming, but just it's that thirst for really trying to put your finger on, actually, that doesn't fit. That doesn't feel right. And it's inside of you if you feel it inside.
I 100% think that the like the flat Earth thing, like when you just look at your eyes, when you just use your eyes, my instinct tells me that the world isn't flat. However, there's a lot of like I feel like I'm sort of stuck in this world where I don't believe that the Earth is the way they say it is, but I also don't think that the story that it's flat also ties up, because I have flown personally. I have flown from South Africa to Australia in 12 hours, and that can't happen on the flat Earth map. So
What
like
happens at the edge?
people say like you can't, like I've seen those people in the flat Earth documentaries saying, yeah, there's a couple of flights that appear like they're available, but when you go to book, you can't get on them. And I'm like, I've been on them. I personally flew from my brother's wedding to Australia from Johannesburg to Sydney in 2013, and I got from A to B in 12 hours without taking a pit stop. So how does that happen on the flat Earth map?
It's possible. That particular route is possible, and it was quite a famous one until like mid 2000s, early 2000s, but they stopped it. But I personally sold these tickets, as you know, from one of the ones we've done with John before. I personally constructed these flights. The systems they use is Amadeus and Galileo. It's a booking system, and the flight from Sydney or Auckland to Santiago in Chile or to Rio de Janeiro is not possible. Every single flight will go via North America, via Dallas, Fort Worth, or LAX. Every single flight. I used to charge people a premium to get a direct flight, and every time that direct flight would go on a Wednesday, I'd have to ring with some sorry-ass excuse and explain to them whilst they were halfway around the world somewhere, sorry, that flight's been rescheduled. And I used to have to, like, every week I knew that call was coming.
But that's that one. Like the Johannesburg to Sydney flight is also the like different ends of the flat Earth map.
It's a lot shorter.
I literally was on that flight. I myself was on that flight.
Yeah, they were Qantas flights, and they were faster planes. They could go a lot faster, but it's a lot shorter of a journey than the example I'm giving you. The example I'm giving you, which is from Sydney, Australia, or Auckland, New Zealand, to Santiago, Chile for the Sydney one, or to Rio de Janeiro for the Auckland one.
Right.
Honestly, but if that's the one thing that's stopping you believing it,
one of the other things was that the guy, one of the flat earthers was taken to Antarctica, and he said, like, this happened last year. Some wealthy billionaire, whatever, or very wealthy man said, come to Antarctica with us, and then you can record the 24-hour sun. And he said, okay, cool, because if the 24-hour sun isn't there at that particular time of year, then it's proof that the Earth is flat. And if it is there, then it's proof that the Earth isn't flat, at least according to that particular map. And he went there and he set up a 360-degree camera, and he came away from it saying, like, it is what it is. I went there and I saw what I saw. It was a 24-hour sun. So, like, the Earth can't be flat according to that market. But this is the thing, right? So then you get the people that go, "Oh, he's just a sellout. He's a shill. He's been bought and paid for." So, like,
you don't get to be a billionaire.
You know, you don't know, do you? You don't.
Well, you can do that about anything. So that's my thing, right? Like, again, you can argue about the scientific method, this and that, but to make any assertion, you need to have kind of evidence that's provable. So for me, like, if we make assumption, okay, Earth is flat and there's a conspiracy, everybody's lying to us, then math, physics, everything as we know it is obsolete. Like the satellites, the internet, like all the technology that is based on math and physics, like you need to make an assumption that all of that doesn't work the way like it does. And that's a big thing, right? So again, with Occam's razor, it's like, okay, either everything that we ever have known has been wrong, you know, going back to Copernicus or, you know, Aristotle, like the Greeks, Galileo, up until now, all that is wrong. Math, physics, everything is wrong, or this is right. And I mean, and just saying, oh, this guy is paid off and this and that, to me, that's, you know, I mean, you can say that about anything.
I'll tell
That's
you
why
what
I'm
it is.
skeptical.
I'll tell you what it is. When you get to 5 million quid, you get a tap on the shoulder from somebody, and they ask you to become part of their club. And if you don't do it, there's sacrifices that. No, it's probably not more these days.
My brother is a gazillionaire, mate. My brother is the head of gas trading at BP. He earns more than Harry Kane. Like, I don't see a penny of it, by the way. The bloody bastard.
But is he in this?
He hasn't had no tap on his shoulder saying like, "Join us or your career's over." He said like he actually laughs about it and goes like, "Put me in if there is an Illuminati. Like, let me get in there. I want to be a part of it. I want to know what's going on." But he said no one's tapped on his shoulder. So I think also 5 million is quite a low number. It's like 5 million.
This is a long time ago, though. This is talking 20 years ago. So I'm sure the numbers change or the dynamics have changed. But it used to be, I'm pretty sure, and I say hand on heart, it used to be 5 million quid. You get a tap on the shoulder, especially if you're someone with influence or a mouthpiece that people listen to. This, you get the tap and you're told this is what the situation is, and you're invited in. If you're not invited in, you sometimes disappear.
Yeah, I'm sure that maybe happens in certain industries.
It's Freemasons. The Freemasons can't control everybody, but they do control a lot of it. So the person you spoke about a minute ago, to go back to the point, is the billionaire that went to Antarctica was a billionaire. Maybe it's not 5 million, maybe it's 500 million. But the point is that person is probably controlled in some way, shape, or form, because when you get to that kind of wealth, you've got something to lose.
But what's the purpose of telling people that the Earth is not flat, and what's the purpose?
That's explainable.
I'm sure anything is explainable. For me, because everything else, I can see. Okay, digital IDs and the Civil Wars, but as far as the physics and the math, they've
been lying to everybody for 50 years. So if they're going to come out and now say, "Oh, do you know what? We was actually lying about all that shit." The world will revolt on these people. Plus, it's a good money earner from NASA alone. Is what 26 billion a year they get. It's a scam. But the thing is they've spent the last however many centuries and decades or whatever telling everybody it's this, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh, do you know what? Yeah, it ain't that at all." And everyone go, "Hold on a fucking second," and there'll be no trust in government. There'll be no tax money coming through. They've just got too far in with it. So they've got to see it through now.
But let's say in China or back in Soviet Union, right? There was no socialist country, everybody was poor, but the scientists were still the scientists, right? I guess countries outside of this whole capitalist structure, right? They still have scientists who agree with all that as well.
Yeah, they're all in on it. So you're familiar with the Antarctic Treaty of 1959, right? In 1959, this is before the first NASA station, which was called Marshall Center or something like that in America in the 1960s. In 1959, they all agreed that it was in the best interest of the world to give this narrative to everybody that now we know as space. But the original 12 were the UK, USA, Russia, Norway, Japan, Chile, Australia, Argentina, France, New Zealand, and Belgium, I think it was. But now there's 58 countries that all agree, and they each take a section of the ice wall.
Yeah, that is odd. Right, that's one of the things that's weird.
They agree on nothing. These countries agree on nothing, but they'll agree that
Iran and Israel want to blow each other up, right? Pakistan and India can't stand each other. North Korea, China, the UK, US, everybody hates each other for some reason here or there, but they all agree that no one goes to Antarctica.
So which is weird. Yeah, which is weird. It's people kill each other for far less. Yeah. But then on certain points they agree. That's why I'm skeptical. It's at the end of the day, people will not agree on anything. So having these agreements is, I don't know.
This particular agreement from 1959, which has the US and Russia as the original founders, these countries don't agree on anything, if you believe what you're told. But they've agreed for the last 60 years that this is what the narrative is. And they all got their own space programs. They've all got their own scam going on, their own people, populace. But this is just the decision they made. And like I said, this is where the conspiracy comes into it. It's such a good scam that they're all making money off of it and feeding people these lies.
Johnny, what do you think?
The thing is, we don't actually know what's going on in these conflicts because we see it on TV. We're just fed it by mainstream media. And the rulers of these countries are not actually killing each other. It's just killing against populace, isn't it? So when you see these people meet, they're all best friends. And I've known people who worked in House of Lords and House of Parliament, and they tell me this, you know, that they're all drinking in a bar with each other after the cameras go, and, you know, it's all theatre. So how do we know they're actually disagreeing and all in conflict with each other? You know, like at each other's borders, Iran and Iraq, and how do we know it's fact? Because it's just things we're fed on the media. And going back to that treaty and so on, you know, how has that guy been allowed to go there? He was taken there by a billionaire to prove something that the billionaire wanted to prove, that Earth is wrong. None of us would be able to go there. If your brother wanted to go there, Sean, he wouldn't be able to go there. You have to be connected, and it probably has to be agreed. And they're not going to let you go there and prove anything other than what their agenda is. And if you think about also when all this globe agenda came in, it only really came in when they started saying we have the technology to show you from space, which they never have actually admitted that they show you real footage from space. But it only ever came in around these times when they started saying, oh, we can prove it to you, that's what it looks like. But a long time ago, there were like thousands of years, all the old scriptures are the earth is flat.
Exactly.
And there's this, you know, covering, a protection covering dome, all the old scriptures. Yet now it's all by a certain small amount of agencies that, no, it's not that way actually. Now we've decided it's this way.
The maps as well. They're some of the most ancient maps that we have around at the moment. The Poster World Map, the Sorley Map, the Mappa Mundio, ones in Hereford Cathedral. But the oldest maps they have that we know about, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, are all flat. They all show a border. They don't show.
You can go to like a telescope, like right now. Like you can go to Hawaii. They have this like huge telescope where they have like these big ones all over the world. You can actually go and check it out. Even like the Vatican right now, the Jesuit priests. I mean, they all.
Yeah, they've got a telescope called Lucifer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, by the way, they do exactly. So, I mean, I have a different explanation about Antarctica. I think there are just alien bases there. It's like that American admiral.
6 in Nikos's painting. Look, I want him to move it over so I can see another 6 or something. There we go. That's cool.
There it is.
6 is all over.
There it is. There's actually 4 6s, John. Like before I got it, I had it commissioned. I was like, yeah, there needs to be 4 6s there.
Yeah, but I like
the thing. I'm wrong side. I haven't got 5 million quid. I haven't got 5 million quid.
You can imagine some certain people are thinking, yeah, I bet he's a shill. Look, I can see 666 in the background.
I'll show you that.
It's the other one. It's funny when people think about it and they go, oh, I bet he's not genuine.
And I've got to be honest, man, they also a little bit. They look suspiciously like what the FBI. That symbol looks a little bit like the boy lover conspiracy. Have you seen that the symbol for boy lover?
It's got more coils. It's got more coils. This is a friend of mine in the UK. He's actually he's got a crazy life story. He was in the Sumatra tsunami. He was a UN peacekeeper, but he started doing paintings. There's like a stress relief thing during COVID, and I was like, oh, commission me some paintings and stuff, and they're what he come up with. So stick them on.
Very nice. Very
nice.
I'm
going to get the Baphomet on that roller blind there. What do you reckon? And a big pentagram.
Yeah, a pentagram on the back there. Yeah. There's 4 6s. There's 4 6s. It's just how old I was.
Some people think I'm doing the disco. Other people think I'm doing as above, so below. You know.
Yeah. Do you know what I thought that actually? I thought when I put that in the background there, someone's going to say that's 666 in the background there, but it's not.
All right, let's move on to the next video, shall we? Let's see what the next video's got on the Wheel of Doom.
Update failed. This kind of reminds me of the time when Shaq and Jalen Rose froze on like television.
I don't get it.
I think they're saying he's a clone and he's like malfunctioned. There's lots of those videos knocking about though, isn't there?
Yeah, you see the one with the politicians in America. What's his name? The weird guy with glasses. He looks like a sex offender. His name's he's a Republican, but he's one of those rhinos. What's his name?
It sounds like most of them.
Yeah. To be fair, O'Donnell or something like this. I don't know his name off the top of my head. But anyways, he used to be one of the
O'Connell.
It'll come to me in a
Mitch
minute.
O'Connell.
Was it him?
No, he's a US Republican. One of the top ones. He's.
She can be my handler, says Adam Phillip. Yeah, she was cute.
But yeah, he had a malfunction as well for that politician. I'll find his name, but he had a malfunction as well.
Yeah, Shaq did freeze on TV. There's a few of them knocking about. There's definitely a few of them knocking about. It makes you wonder whether
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, he had a stroke. They said, I don't know.
He had one where it's like frozen like that, and someone had to come and like touch him on the arm, and he's like going again.
Put a little bit of oil in him.
Yeah, there's like a little touch on their arm. It's like a little soft touch on someone on the wrist, like there was a button or something to press, and kind of like went again, you know. But I wouldn't surprise.
So what are we saying? Are we getting into are clones real? Are we having a conversation about clones right now? Do you think they're real?
I think it's more robot. I think that's more probably likely a robot, to be honest. I mean, would you be surprised if they were using robots in entertainment?
What are you guys saying, John?
Yeah, I've seen Spurs play enough to think, bloody hell, some of those midfielders look like robots that can't move.
Yeah, Crouchy, I think you said in the private chat. Eugene,
I saw a while ago where this guy was doing a presentation on it was like a daytime TV show in America, and he was pointing at the big screen and stuff. And then suddenly, like, he stopped, and the presenter said to him, like, "Are you okay?" And he went right up to him, and he just went like that, and then he went gone like that, and then he just like toppled over, and the guy did that thing, like he touched the neck, like a stitch or something on the neck, right? And then apparently, the rumor is like they've got like a sticky feel to them, the skin, and he went like that, like he wiped his arm on the guy's suit jacket as if to go
oh really?
Yeah, and then it was there on the floor. It wasn't like a person. When someone faints, they're like, they're out, aren't they? This thing, it literally like went down in stages, and then
I've seen that video of Lady Gaga walking out of like. I think it might have been in like Cannes, at like a film festival, where she basically has like she's either on like she's tripping on some super strong ketamine, or she's having a malfunction because she's like walking like this, and everyone, all these people are there taking pictures, taking photos, going like Lady Gaga, and she's just sitting there going, I don't know, that Lady Gaga, there's something about her, whether she's a dude, whether she's a robot, whether she's she's definitely into some weird shit. He, she, whatever, I don't know. But like, there's definitely something going on with some of these celebrities, mate. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Daniel. Just
I think it's robotics, a lot of it. Think about it. It's entertainment, so it's about money. So the more shows you can do, without any kind of pushback, without any consent needed, like you would just do it, It's just they got better with the robots. Remember a few years ago, there was one where there was on like the Queen and the King and stuff on the Buckingham Palace on the terrace, and there was like Prince Harry and his new wife and stuff. And there's like a really good video of an obvious robotic princess that's standing next to him,
Oh, yeah. No, but wasn't that debunked as being like Madame Two Swords or some shit?
Yeah, that was a waxwork thing, wasn't it? Where they put the masks on, yeah.
But wasn't it on the balcony?
That's it. No, it wasn't the palace. It was something else. It was, it was set up as some sort of waxwork thing. I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get away from the robots one. No one really bit with the robots one there. I wanted to see if someone goes, actually, I know all about clones. Let me tell you a little story, but it didn't land. So let's move on.
You guys want to hear something terrifying? The prophecy of the popes. Oh boy.
This book was found in the Vatican archives, predicted every single pope from in 1143 all the way to our current pope. But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says Judgment Day.
Oh gosh.
It literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yes. The creepiest thing that I saw inside St. Paul's Basilica, bordering the whole inner sanctuary, is every single pope. But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers to where you can put a picture. There's one left after Pope Francis. They have always said that once that last slot is filled, it will be the end of the world. What he predicted, the time it took to go from the first pope that he wrote about, halfway mark, was 422 years. And he's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. If you do 422 years from the middle pope, which was 1585, that year is 2027.
Dang!
It's even weirder. Pope John the 23rd, and he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well.
Before I know, Nikos, this is up your alley, but before you go, question. Who's this guy and how does he know about the Vatican and what have some secret texts? Like, that's my only thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you know more about these texts, but
Did it mention who the guy was? Let me just play the first 10 seconds.
No, I'm just wondering who the source is, and when they said, "Oh, there's this secret Vatican text," and some American with a beard, you know.
Let's see the first 10 seconds ago and see if they mention the guy's name.
You guys want to hear something terrifying? The prophecy of the popes.
Oh boy.
This book was found in
someone called Malachi. Malachi, the prophecy of the popes. Nikos, John, what are we saying there about the popes? You think we're golden there, or you think there's trouble?
Go, John.
I don't know where to start on that one, really. There's too much power, isn't there? Too much worship, a lot of wealth, around the whole Vatican and obviously the whole Catholic Church set up in that part of the world. Definitely something not right. I remember that video with the Pope on the balcony and the little girl where her tongue came out like a bloody great big lizard. That was really creepy. There's some strange stuff going on in that world.
Oh yeah, should we show that again? Should we get that up? The old
yes.
Do you remember this before? This was weird. By the way, it's called Saint Malachi. The prophecy of the popes is a series of 112 short cryptic phrases in Latin which purport to predict popes of the Catholic Church, beginning with Celestine II. It was first published in 1595 by Benedictine monk Arnold Wion, who attributed the prophecy to Saint Malachi, a 12th century Malachi, a 12th century Archbishop of Armagh. Anyway, let's get the Pope's reception hall. This is looking crazy. So you're talking about things not getting. Look at this. Like, can we see it? Is it going to be a good picture? That is the Pope's reception hall. What does that look like to you, Eugene?
That's pretty nuts. Yeah.
A fucking snake. It's got fangs.
Oh wow! Now I see it. I mean,
you couldn't see it before.
No.
It's a fucking snake, bro.
I'm not tuned into that, but now I see it.
What's even weirder is that right down the end here, right down the end of this, like where the Pope's reception hall is. Let's see if it's on here.
That's crazy.
Look at this.
Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now I just see it everywhere.
Look at this thing, though.
What is this?
What the fuck is that? That's behind. This is the Pope, right, in that same hall. So down here, hang about. This is the Pope's reception hall. So from the back, it looks like a snake, right, with the fangs and everything. But this bit down here where the Pope is actually sat, this area of the red, this is this. And it's supposed to be Jesus rising from the dead. To me, that fucking thing looks like a snake, bro. Even though that's Jesus's face and his hair is off to the left, like he's being, hair dryer stuff. But if you look at it from the right angle, it looks more like a snake to me coming out of the ground. And all these people look like trapped souls. They look like demons and gargoyles and shit. This is in the Vatican, in the most religious place in the Catholic Church, and they're literally in your face with some worshipping the serpent shit.
But why would they be in your face? So I guess that's the question, right? Why would it be so in your face if it was something that they're hiding?
It's an inside joke. They use it as an inside joke. It's like an inside joke to them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my 2 pence on it is most people are not aware there's actually three popes. It's like a complex tapestry of the Catholic world. There's the white pope, which is the visible shepherd for the people. There's the black pope, which is the Jesuit pope. He represents the Society of Jesus. The one that runs it now is called Arturo Sosa. And then there's the grey pope, which someone in the comments mentioned in one of the last episodes below. And his name is Pepe Orsini. And he is part of a family, the Orsini house. And they've had 5 popes. They've had Stephen II in 752, Paul I in 757, Celestine in 1191, Nicholas III in 1277, and Benedict XIII in 1724. Somewhere along that timeline, they've added a whole bunch of years. So the timeline we live on is not correct, and it's all intertwined with what they're doing at the Vatican. So to bring it back to the original point, I think the people that have been running this know that their time is coming to an end. So they've carefully placed out the kind of timeline so they can kind of see like a clock how many more popes we've got, how much time we've got left. So I think there's probably one more pope, and we'll see the Catholic world probably be crumbled on purpose. It's their time to run out.
Out of like, just take away all that kind of supernatural stuff out of all the mysteries in the world. And I'm Jewish, right? So the Catholicism, like, I can care less. But out of all the mysteries out there, like the mystery of the Vatican, what they know, what they have in their archives, for me has to be up there. Like all the knowledge that they're hiding, all the stuff, all the things that they stole and everything else. Like for me, it's like the library of Alexandria that was destroyed, like what was there and now what's in Vatican. Those two for me are up there as far as the mysteries that I would love to know.
The Vatican and Rome are in charge of hiding the history. There's 3 epicenters of the world. The financial epicenter is London, the political power is in Washington, and the religious power is in Vatican.
Yep.
So when they done a cleanup of the world, after the reign of Christ, they had to get rid of the question marks. That's why there's these big labyrinths of artifacts sitting underneath the Vatican that have all been stolen and pillaged. One of the big reasons for the wars that we've experienced, World War I, World War II, was to destroy a lot of the old buildings. There wasn't actually any reason to bomb Dresden to a pope or to attack Syria for no reason, or Iraq or any of these places. It was just to destroy evidence. So the reason why the Vatican is what it is because it's just concealing evidence. That's why it's got labyrinths underneath it of texts that are hidden from the world. They've tried to cover up what's going on, but the little season finishes soon. So the little season, I think, has been going since 1776, which is when they founded America. Founded being the word, founded America, and 250 years represents the season. So 250 years from 1776 is next year. So I think they know their time's coming to an end. I think they know the season's finished, and I think that's why there's one more disc on the wall, which is the one they got now, which is the American guy. I don't know.
Okay, now spend that Bitcoin, Eugene.
Jesus, I know you guys are so much fun. Now I'm gonna,
Sorry, Eugene, mate. Sorry, we spent years on this stuff, mate. We've been doing this for a long time. I'll tell you.
Again, I'm a noob. I'm still on the aliens. I'm still, like on the lizard people. Like you guys are.
You're like level 2. You're like level 2,
and you guys are like, a Jose or like Sir Alex. And like I'm just starting out, and you guys
you're
are,
You're Ange Postecoglou. You got a bit like the trophies.
Exactly.
We all start somewhere, mate. I used to think around the Earth was round. I used to think dinosaurs existed. I used to think all that stuff. Everybody else.
Come on, don't tell me that dinosaurs don't exist. Come on.
Oh, mate, we might save it for another show. But now, mate, you can lie to about that and all, mate.
Too much for me in one sitting. Too much.
When I was a kid, it's like all of these names like Brontosaurus, and I'm like, what idiot sat there in a room and wrote this shit down? Like, I didn't even believe it back then, but now that I'm older and I've been able to do the research, yeah, mate, that's all bullshit. So sorry.
I don't know, man. The dinosaurs. Come on.
How do you fucking know?
You know the
You
dinosaurs.
see a dinosaur?
Yeah, but okay, but ultimately, like at some point, we need to defer to some sort of expertise because we can't know everything or see everything. So if we just say, if I don't see it with my own eyes, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Let me give this is the one I do on everybody. I think I've done it on the Talk Show before. Let me ask you a question. How many world flags or family crests have dinosaurs on them? If they're that important, they've been around for millions of years, they would be all over the place. Wouldn't they? They'd be on world flags, they'd be on country emblems, they'd be on family crests.
China's the dragon, though, right?
The dragon is an interesting one because the only thing that actually exists on these flags are griffins. This is what they're trying to cover up as dinosaurs. What actually did exist
is the intersection between people and dinosaurs, right? So dinosaurs, no people, but then dragons and,
the dragons existed. The dragons existed.
Yeah, that I agree with.
But now the dragons are mythical and the dinosaurs are real. They've done this whole like 180 on it on everybody so that people think, oh, dinosaurs existed, all these crazy things run the earth, and then there was a meteor and bang.
Well, okay, but I can get my head around the idea of like why you would want the world, people would want to sort of distance yourself from the idea that God, the Bible was real and stuff. So I can get on board the notion of like concocting the globe Earth thing to make you feel like you're irrelevant in a vast nothingness or whatever. But what's the purpose of hijacking the idea of dinosaurs? Like what's the benefit there?
The oil was made out of fossil fuel, some dinosaurs, and there's a finite amount of
oil. So it's oil. It's not come from fossil fuels. It's everywhere. Okay. It's everywhere. But the real reason why that is just that it throws you off the scent. It just throws you off the scent. If you knew that griffins existed and dinosaurs didn't, everyone would be looking for the dragons. They told you in the Game of Thrones. That was more like a in your face kind of series. But no one's got proof of a dinosaur. The most I've ever dug up of a dinosaur is 17% of bones. So
but there is. Sorry, go ahead.
The most I've ever dug up of a dinosaur is 17%. So best part of 90% of anything they represent as a dinosaur is someone's imagination and plaster cast. I used to go to see the one in London History Museum, London, whatever it's called. I used to go to my nan every Sunday because it used to be free. We used to go down and see this big dinosaur when I was a little kid. I believe the same things you believe. I believe the same things. But when you actually put the time in to understand, like, that actually what they've sold me is a whole bunch of bullshit.
So question for you, Nikos.
That's why it's free to get in.
Go
on. Sorry, John. Go on.
I was just saying that's why it's free to get in because they want as many children as they can to go in there and go,
It's funny you say that actually because out here in Barcelona,
Facebook that invented this idea of if it's free then you're the product. It was the Natural History Museum back in the day.
Mate, it's funny actually because John's spot on, mate, because out here in Barcelona, everything costs money. Like anywhere you go in Barcelona, it costs money, mate. You want to go on whatever, but there's a museum here called the Cosmo CaixaBank Science Museum. It's run by a bank. It is free to go in there if you've got a bank account with one of the biggest banks in Spain. And I take my son there, and mate, like it's just a fantasy world. Like I walk in there and I'm like, oh my god, I've got to tell this kid one day that all this shit is bullshit. Like there's nothing in there.
So question for you guys. So on Rogan, there was he had this guy on. He's a prospector. He owns land in Alaska. He mines for gold. So in the couple of acres of his space, he found like thousands and thousands of bones, like mammoth bones, dinosaur bones that were carbon dated to whatever that time was. And he has like warehouses of those bones. Then he also said a bunch of bones were dumped into the river in New York by Smithsonian, like in the 1800s, and actually divers dove and they found those bones. So we could actually see the bones. What do you think those are? Because
what happened was there used to be a lot more oxygen on the planet. So what happened is a long time ago, all the animals were bigger. The people were bigger, the animals were bigger. And over time, they destroyed the trees. So they've reduced the oxygen that was in the air. So we don't get as big. The plants don't get as big. The trees don't get as big. The animals don't get as big. So what they're probably finding is actually everyday animals, probably someone's cat from back in the day, but it's just they're now a lot smaller because of the suffocation of oxygen that we receive. But they used to be giant.
That's pseudoscience. No one knows from a piece of rock that it's millions of years old.
Yeah, carbon dating's bullshit. For sure.
No, from the rock, no, but the bone, they know, right? They can
How?
take.
You can't know. It's just
Like, if
impossible.
you look at this, like this selenite quartz, right? How can you tell me how fucking old that is? Excuse my French. Right?
It's just
you
way-
can't.
No.
How do you know?
Well, they can tell it by
Carbon
where it
dating
is.
justifies this thing.
No one knows.
There's tools out there that are used for things like we don't understand, but they are capable of doing things not to do with conspiracies, but there's like, I don't know, there's medical devices that have unbelievable technology embedded in it. I'm sure that there's devices that can also see into the detail of that thing that we can't look at. It just looks like a bit of plastic to me, but to the people that know what they're doing with those things, there must be detail that they can see.
But they've got nothing to compare it to.
Exactly. Example. There's
Like,
no
if
example.
your mum was born in the same year as my mum, right? They've got a comparison of, what London was like back then and what like school was like. But how can they say this rock is like 3 million years old, carbon dating? Okay, so can you tell me they knew what was around in 3 million years ago?
But that's not how carbon dating works, though.
It's not logically makes sense.
But why do you need to like know whether or not schools were around 3 million years ago for the carbon dating to be?
No, I'm saying if you talk to people who were born in the same generation, they knew what schools were like, what hospitals were like, what London was like if they lived there.
Yeah.
You can't say that rock is 3 million years old because they don't know what the carbon content was then. Because no one had come back from there or lived from there or sent records to say, this is our findings, this is the scientific findings. Like if you look on weather records, they go back to a certain time until they like didn't record them. So let's say they're 150 years old, right? And then you can look on that for patterns and go, oh, in 1855, on this date, the weather was like this. But how could you do that 15 million years ago? Because no one's making...
Oh, I see what you mean.
No one's keeping records.
So they're making assumptions that...
This amount of carbon was in this crystal at that time. So if it gets buried and then suddenly someone digs it up and goes, oh, yeah, well, we carbon date it because the carbon that was in it, we know it was that amount in those materials.
But they do know, actually. But they do know the amount, right? Like, for example, when they drill ice cores in like Antarctica, or when they discover, let's say, like Troy, like all those ancient cities, you can go down in the ground and you will see layers in the soil. So they can tell based on which layer it is, they can actually tell the changes in the soil. The deeper you go.
You're assuming that the extract from the soil is been built up over years, when in fact it's probably not. The carbon dating thing is just a way of them explaining away the lies. Carbon dating is just a way of them justifying, oh yeah, this is this, and it's just it's someone's opinion that sounds credible. So people are looking for answers. If you've got someone that's got an answer, people stop asking more questions.
Actually, so Nikos, honest question for you. Is there any amount of evidence that somebody can show you where you'd say, yep, the earth is round or the carbon dating is real? Is there anything that anybody can show, or would the answer for anything be, oh,
NASA get 26 billion quid a year. Go up there, take a video, spin it around, do a little, but they won't do it. The thing is like that's what people are believing what they're told, and that's what a lot of the problem is. It's the indoctrination. You need to break it. Unless you can physically see it, physically touch it, witness it yourself, you've got to. I think what Eugene's
talking about is like that geezer that went to the South Pole, and he was it wasn't him that was the billionaire. Some very rich man said, "I'll pay for a bunch of people to fly down there," right? Yeah. And one of them went, "Well, okay, I've seen it with my own two eyes," and then he's now called a shill by the people who used to be on his side. Yeah. And so, like, he's saying, "Look, I have seen it with my own two eyes."
Like, one thing I've always said: show me curvature. If they say we live on a sphere that's 25,000 kilometers round, the circumference is that wide, you should be able to measure curvature. And me and you brought up on one of the previous shows, I think with John on it actually as well, is Lake Titicaca. You can go and shoot a laser beam 4 or 5 miles across a lake. If we're living on what they're saying, that's not possible. And you can make that example all over the world. You can do it on every single lake all over the world. And I've put the time in to understand mathematically, it ain't a ball. I don't know what we live on. I think we live on a plane.
I hear you on the laser one, because I'm pretty sure I looked into it, and the lasers that we're using were infrared lasers, and it shouldn't like. I think I don't know. I'm a donut when it comes to the science here, but I'm pretty sure that the idea of refraction doesn't work when it comes to specific types of wavelength, and so they put a mirror up on one side of the lake, and they put a mirror up on some sort of like receiver next to them, put the laser on it, and it was 5-6 miles or whatever, and then it bounced back and it came back to where it should be, and it was measurable in a type of laser that I think doesn't have refraction. And at 6 miles across that lake, the curvature would be
there should be at least a few hundred meters, if not a mile or so of curvature. So you shouldn't be able to see that mirror. But I've seen, and I put the time in to understand just a simple mathematical equation that we said before. It's 32 inch per mile or whatever it is squared. So every single time you go a further mile out, there's more curvature, more curvature, more curvature, more curvature. The longer your example of your experiment is, I think the Bedford Canal experiment was the best example from the 1800s. They've proved it over and over again, but they keep burying it and telling us we're living on a spinning ball, flying through space. You know, it doesn't make sense, like from a critical mathematical point of view, more than anything else. I don't need to see a picture. Even these days, they can go and show me a video, and I'll still be skeptical, to be honest. Mathematically, in my brain, from a financial mind, like I'm a financier, same as you, Sean, it doesn't make sense, mate. Like, until I can get my head around curvature and I actually couldn't experience it myself. I've been on a plane all around the world. I've never experienced being upside down on an airplane. I don't know if you have, but I have.
No, I hear you on that. I definitely hear you on that one. Let's park the flat Earth stuff, and let's for the time being, let's have a look at the next video. How much time have you guys got, by the way?
Plenty.
10 minutes for me.
10 minutes, Eugene?
10, 15, yeah. So
how much time you got, John?
All the time in the world for you, sir.
Same.
I'm gonna balance, and then you guys can go real deep without me asking annoying questions.
Eugene, we're not trying to beat you up, mate. We just
no. I'm just playing. I'm just being that guy.
Yeah, it's great. No, I like it. We've got to challenge everything, including the challenges. You know,
you've got to be critical of everything, mate. They've lied about nearly fucking everything, and like until you can go back to that point of like zero and like rebuild it up, like you're going to get just stumbled across all sorts of types of nonsense. But you know, you need that critical thinking, and you need to go, right, okay, what makes sense to me, and like stick by convictions. It's okay to be wrong. You can always change your mind, but you can't be married to an idea that someone taught you when you was 5 years old. Like, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid.
All right, let's have a look, see what the next one. I think we might have done this one.
You guys want to hear something terrifying?
We've done that one already. Delete you. Thanks for your help.
Does Johnny watch this channel, Sean?
Johnny H?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's ever watched it, but he says he wants to participate at some point. But whenever I ask him, he's not available. So
I'm really the guy that turns him into a flat earther.
Listen, I turned him into an alcoholic. It took me about 6 months of streaming with him. He never drank alcohol before. Now he drinks pretty much every day. So
it sounds very impressive. It sounds like it'd be an easy target. I'll put him straight and narrow. Don't worry about where we are. He keeps having digs at me about the world being round and stuff. I'm going to get him one day.
As long as Johnny doesn't mention Eng and last season 22 losses, it's all good, because it's going to be like the Earth is flat. But 22 losses last season. I'm like,
yeah. And is Johnny's own like Illuminati, you know.
Yeah.
Can't let it go. Let's move on to this next one.
The biggest part of the Great Reset that you're all missing is the carbon credit scan. And what is the carbon credit scan? This is where they're telling you where they want to monitor, track, and trace every so-called kilogram of CO2 that you emit. And they say the global average needs to be 2 tons per person per year. And you're using 16 tons per person per year, which means your activity has to go down by 800%. So how do they plan to do that? Well, first of all, they got the new first MasterCard in the world that is going to show a carbon allowance for every single purchase you buy. And to make sure that everything has a so-called carbon credit, food, when you buy food now, if it's vegan, it's going to show you this nice low score of only 1 kilogram, 1.3 kilograms of CO2 per serving. Now, meat will be off the chart, so that's going to be a no-no. Check this out. If you go to a restaurant, even an Italian pizza place, they're going to show you the amount of CO2 for your dish. So literally everything you eat, everything you buy, is your clothes made of leather? That's going to cost more CO2 because it came from a cow. So every single thing you do is going to be tracked. Why? Because they want to put limits on how much you can spend monthly. They're telling you you're using 16 tons a year and they want you to use 2 tons a year. What does 2 tons look like? Well, check this out. Say you wanted to fly from Toronto to Amsterdam, and now Google, by the way, Google Flights shows the carbon emissions on that flight. That flight from Toronto to Amsterdam is 478 kilograms of CO2. That's almost 25% of your yearly allowance. But don't worry, if you go over your limit, they're going to charge you $170 for every kilogram. For every kilogram of carbon credits you need. This is how they're going to control where you go, how you're going to get there, what you can buy, what you can eat, who you can see. And now imagine that in a world without cash. And imagine that in a world where the government gets to control every single transaction. And this is why they're constructing 15-minute cities, aka prison camps. Because when they put these carbon credit allowances into these cities, they're going to have you on perpetual lockdown like they did with COVID without having a virus. Thank you, everybody.
I don't want to be a shallow person, but if he wants to be taken seriously, he should at least wear a shirt or a t-shirt. Or
he's always wore that vest, mate. He's always worn that vest.
Saying, me being like not knowing who he is, like if at least he wears a t-shirt, I'm like, okay, he might, I might take him seriously. I'm sure he's right. It's just funny.
Less of the wife beater.
Yeah, it's like some dude in the garage, like,
he was one of the.
Yeah, I don't be shallow, but.
His name's Chris. I think his name's Chris. He became famous during all the COVID stuff, and he was one of the people calling out all the vaccines and the masks and stuff like that. But he's 100% right. The carbon credits have been around for about 30 years. It used to be a scam that was run on businesses. I don't know if Sean's come across it in his time, but carbon credits was a big selling thing that happened like 20, 30 years ago, and it was to offset taxes that the company would pay, and you could basically buy them from other companies and offset your taxes. But all this basically is a way of controlling people. I saw the other day that they've actually started putting the carbon rating on sandwiches in Marks and Spencer, and Tesco's are about to put them on next week and stuff like that. It tells you you've had 10% of your carbon allowance this week and stuff like that. Like, it's just all a form of control. Until people break out of this cycle of control, like they're just going to keep strangling you. Like if carbon was a real problem, they wouldn't be sending private Learjets 500-fold to Davos every year. There wouldn't be celebrities owning private. It doesn't make sense. So some little old lady who lives in Bexley or Woolwich or whatever in London, she's not allowed to go and have 2 meals a week, but some billionaire can fly around the world, or Taylor Swift can fly around the world 164 times a year. It's just control, mate. And like, again, people just swallow it. They're like, okay, yeah, what's going to happen is, and it'll all be linked to your digital ID. So what will happen is when they eventually get the digital ID, the digital wallet, it will be a case of we can turn you off. This is when you won't be able to go 20 miles in your car, like we said in the last show with Elon Musk and his electric vehicles. All this carbon credit stuff is just a form of telling you what you can't fucking do. And that is all it is.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
Terrifying.
So I'm a director of a couple of companies, and I've got until November the 15th to I will never get on board the digital ID thing, but I keep getting bombarded by my accountant. You've got to sign up to this company's house thing, HMRC. You have to prove your identity, and if you don't want to do it via the One app, the HMRC One app, whatever it's called, the government One app, then you have to pay £85 to get some guy to stamp it or whatever, right? Yeah. And I'm like, is this digital ID the first iteration of it? But it's for people that are actually directors of companies. And then, of course, about a couple of days later, I see Keir Starmer coming out saying, oh yeah, it's not compulsory to have a digital ID. If you'd rather pay £85 every time you need to prove your ID, then you can. But it's much easier if you if you just use the One app. And I'm like, this is exactly what they're doing. It's not easier. They're not making it easier for you. They're making it more difficult. if you don't do what they say.
They try and trick you with the terminology and the wording. That's where a lot of this like spell casting comes from. And during all the COVID vaccine stuff that happened, they used the word mandate rather than law. So what was happening was they were saying this mandate, this mandate, this mandate, this mandate. People now who didn't comply and got fines have gone back and contested the mandate and won in court against the government. It's just control. But this new tax law and this carbon credit scheme and this employment schedule they're trying to put you on, pay the fines, keep a record, and then sue the government in 5 years. That's what we've got to do. I said the same thing to people who were being taken at school. My partner, her brother, he has Down syndrome, and the school was saying it's compulsory to have the COVID vaccine. And I just told the mother-in-law, look, just keep a record of all this. In 5 years' time, sue the shit out of the school because this is against the law. And the key word is mandate. Look out for that word, mandate. To all the people watching this who come and view it and come across it, the word mandate is not a law. Pay the money, sue the shit out of them later on. That's the trick. So if your company, Sean, are told to pay you 85 quid, keep the receipt, keep it in a file, give it to the accountant, and in 5 years' time, when all this stuff turns out to be exactly what the COVID vaccine stuff is, sue the shit out of the government. They don't care. It'll be a new prime minister, it'll be a new guy, there'll be a compensation scheme.
Yeah, I hope so.
Don't comply.
Sorry, boys, I gotta run. But hey, Nikos, John, I got some homework. I'm gonna look up that laser thing. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna ignore my kids for the rest of the day or night. I'm just gonna go, instead of me watching videos about aliens, I'm gonna do that laser thing experiment deep dive, and I'm gonna be back. So we're gonna expand on that.
If you need any help on your journey, like I said, you've got my number. Feel free to send me a message, mate. I know it's a lonely path, but it's a worthwhile path in the end, mate. It gives you confidence, and it's the truth. The most
He's not there
important
yet. He's not there. He's still questioning at the moment. He's not ready.
I'm still with the aliens.
The fact he's questioning it is enough. The fact is, I used to watch the Joe Rogan videos. I used to watch the Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo. They used to do all the space documentaries and all the DVDs that the BBC released, mate. We was all there. But eventually, if you're on this real journey for truth, like, the truth is all that actually matters.
I'm still like the MK Ultra paperclip, like alien
Yeah,
stuff. I'm still like I'm a beginner. I didn't know this was,
that's
but
not beginning. It's just there's levels to the game.
There's levels, exactly. There's levels.
You can jump around, mate, because sometimes the MK Ultra stuff is more fascinating, more fun. When you go and watch some of that shit, what they were doing to those poor victims, like the people in the insane asylums that were used as the guinea pigs on the MK Ultra stuff. Absolutely wild stuff, you know.
They're everywhere. They were spraying
John's like hardcore fans, the MK Ultras.
Yeah.
They were spraying kids, black kids, with some stuff to test out some, like, they've done it in different cities here in the US in the 60s, especially in the poor communities. So yeah.
Yeah, they infected like a black community with syphilis and shit, didn't they?
Syphilis, exactly. So
yeah,
boys, always a pleasure. Nico, John,
you,
nice to meet you, Sean. Thanks for the invite. This is great.
Always.
Appreciate it.
See you, mate. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye, boys.
Can we come back to something you just said there about the asylum, Sean?
Yeah.
Have you ever come across the Lunacy Act, the Lunacy Law?
No.
No, like back in the 1800s, you're familiar with the Cabbage Patch Children and the orphan trains and stuff like that. I'm sure John's probably come across it on his research. But there was an act that was enacted in America and the UK, around the world, and it was to keep up the lie and the conspiracy. And the asylums were basically Tartarian buildings that were converted into asylums, and the parents were separated from their children. So the children went to the orphanages. The parents, or the mums in particular, who would say that their husbands was at war, would be admitted into the asylums. And this is why the asylums used to be so full of people, but notoriously majority women. The Lunacy Act, look into it. It's quite a big rabbit hole for people that haven't watched or looked into it on the comments or the reviews or whatever later. The Lunacy Act, it explains a lot about why these asylums have now closed down, the original purpose of them 100 years ago, why they were filled with adults, and also why the orphanage and the orphan trains were a thing. The Cabbage Patch, the clones, like it's a deep hole. The Lunacy Act, right on your whiteboard.
I will. I'm making a note, mate. Making a note right now.
Talking of clones, can we talk about clones, like people wearing masks, actors, politicians? That's a good one, because not many people, I think, are aware of that one. It's fairly recent, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you mean by clones in politics? What you mean, like the ones where like people like Justin Trudeau looks identical to someone else that was before him in the timeline?
Yeah, that, and like where you see the Biden neck with the mask line, and Kamala Harris with the neck there with like the mask line, and
yeah,
and the Simpsons as well. Do you remember that outside? Like it's meant to be like, is it like the town hall or something? And
with the two aliens, Krang and Krong or whatever it was, and they put off in the political.
Kudos, in it, yeah, Mohammed Kudos, and they maybe he's going to be an alien. Isn't it Homer that pulls off like their heads or something? And
that's right. Yeah, I think one of them was pretending to be Bill Gates, and the other one was pretending to be I forget the other guy. Was it the guy who ended up being about the carbon, about the being green? The guy who, I forget what his name was, and they
Al Gore.
Al Gore. I said Al Gore and Bill Clinton, and then they pull off the masks, and it's the two green aliens. At the end, they go, "It doesn't matter, the fools. They don't realize it doesn't matter who you choose. You still choose us." Simpsons were very much prescient about the way the world worked.
Matt Groening was a 33-degree Freemason, so he was basically he knew the path, he knew the journey. So I think he was just. I've always had this feeling like The Simpsons wasn't made for kids, but I had a feeling it was made for other Freemasons. There was an episode called The Stonecutters. I don't know if you remember when you watched it.
That was great.
Yeah.
People did it down.
It was a big boys club, wasn't it? It was like a big boys club where they're all sitting there, all getting drunk and stuff, and he always wanted to be part of the group and stuff like that. But I think what it was like a hidden in plain sight, like communication to a worldwide audience. Remember, Simpsons has been going on since the 1990s, so it's one of the first, like cartoons that was kind of like popular, and it hit the world. So it would make sense that they would kind of put messages in for eyes that could see, if you like.
Just quickly before we get onto it, guys, there's 65 people still here. Record show, by the way, for number 3. We love to see it. Smash the like button, please. All I ask is hit the subscribe as well, so that you know when we're going to go live. Notification bell button should be squeezed, because I reckon this channel will get suppressed very, very quickly. As soon as it gets noticed by Google what we're talking about, then it will get suppressed. So if you want to keep an eye on it, then make sure you press the notification bell, so at least you can see when we're going live.
Are we not saying smash the granny anymore?
What's that?
Are we not saying smash the granny out the like button?
No, we can still smash the granny. Smash the granny out the like button, people. Smash the granny out.
Do me a favour, Sean. Keep the word flat earth out of the title and description, because every time you do that, the algorithm throws up a disclaimer and automatically like hides it in the algorithm. So just because we've brought it up a couple of times in this conversation, and again, we haven't made any definitive answers on it, but the fact that you put it in the title, it flags it up as something that, is suppressed. So don't put that kind of stuff in the title.
Illuminati plans for the Great Reset, digital ID, carbon credits, only cans, conspiracy corner number 3. I'm pretty sure that Illuminati will
probably going to be on a list somewhere for that. Yeah.
Premier League transfer rumors show.
Clickbait, yeah. You won't believe what's happening on planet Earth. Question mark, exclamation mark.
What we're going to do is like do a transfer special where you're talking about like Mateus Tell signing a new contract and then make it all about conspiracies.
Yeah, just completely shift nicely into it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Nothing about Mateus Tell in it.
Eugene, he's going to be rocking, isn't he, in the corner? He's going to be like,
Oh, mate, I feel bad, mate. Sorry if you're still watching, Eugene, mate. And I try and come across very subtly, but
he loves it. He loves this stuff.
I see him in the group chat. He's interested, and I really appreciate and respect that kind of like urge to learn. But you just have to understand that most of the shit we've been taught in our lives is bollocks. And if you can get to that point, you kind of rebuild quickly, But if you're hanging on to things that they taught you, like it's very difficult.
I think that there's also though, like, I think that it gets to a point where people that were too attached to their worldview before, they don't want to let go of it. But those that have let go of that, they then get attached to this other worldview, which is, you know, now I've seen the light, I've seen the truth. Everyone else is wrong on everything, and I'm like, what I think is happening is. But I think that there's like, it's like anything in life, right? There's two extremes, and I'm sure that a lot of the conspiracies are true, but I'm sure a lot of them are also nonsense. You know, not
maybe
all
there's subs in there, but there's probably, again, batting average wise, like I've been a conspiracy theorist for about 20 years. Most of the things that were conspiracies and quite known as fact now. Someone said it in one of the comments in the other shows. That's conspiracy fact is actually a terminology now. It's not a theory anymore. It's fact. What's theoretical is the science they teach us about space, but these things have come to pass. David Icke, we said it on the show, it comes to pass. All the things he said 20 years ago, like how can these guys predict this stuff if it wasn't something that was planned? It's just unfortunately, like again, a lot of people are so in. It's an ego thing. I think it's an ego thing because I used to have a big ego.
I think they've lived their whole life being lied to. Right?
Yeah,
people,
it's an ego thing.
They give their money to governments, they pay their taxes, they obey the laws, and they see that there's two tiers of justice, and they go, "Oh, what are you going to do? There's things you can't control about the thing." But like the idea that they've been lied to about, you know, God, or the way that they've been lied to about the fact that the people that are in charge are actually out to hurt you, not to protect you, all that shit. They don't want to hear that stuff because it's too upsetting.
It changes your perception on everything you've ever thought you knew, mate. And like a lot of people just aren't ready for it. You know, as sad as that is, they're just not ready for it. And, you know, like, again, there's certain people out there that are a little more courageous, not to take any kind of credit, but you need to be in a place where you're strong enough to walk alone and walk a path alone and say, "Oh, I was wrong about that. Let me figure that out." You know, but most people are just happy to accept an explanation that the sun is 93 million miles away, or, you know, we're living on a round Earth because, you know, NASA get 26 billion quid a day, or whatever, you know, whatever it is, you know, like it's ridiculous.
The sun is definitely nowhere near as far away.
That video that John showed earlier on, actually, that's a really hard video to find. I tried finding that actually a few weeks ago, John. And when you brought it up, I knew exactly what it was. Yeah.
I just saw the other videos that John sent me. I've got to bring this one up because it's fucking hilarious. When John, I didn't know what I was clicking on, and I remember that John spoke about the fact that the birds, like the reptilians or whatever, are actually birds, and then he, and then this gets. This gets sent to me from John. I want to turn it off because I don't want to get copywritten. But I started pissing myself. John, mate, if that's what's really going on, I don't care whether you're a reptile or that. If that's what the king and the queen are actually looking like behind the scenes, I would shit myself if one of those things turned into reality in front of me.
Haven't we got one of those on the Spurs badge? Isn't one of those on the Spurs logo?
Yeah. I think it's the Queen one.
The Queen one. She's a reptile. You've got a reptile on the back.
That's an old webcam from Faces in Gates Hill on a Saturday night.
I think I've met her before.
Yeah. Sometimes when you go shopping on Viva Street and it's late at night, this is what you get. You're going to get something that looks a little bit like this. You know, take my money.
And you go,
sure, you still would. We both know you still would. Come on in, income. Pop in.
100%. Get in there. Take your clothes off, girl.
Right, you're not Helgar, but you'll do.
Do you know who actually created those things? Those they're called sketches. They were in the Dark Crystal. It was a Jim Henson Muppets creation. And apparently, not long after he brought that out, he was
killed.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the guy's theory. Who I was talking about, that Kanigan, that he reckons Jim Henson showed what was going on in the background, and they went, "Oh dear, we're going to have to get rid of this guy because it's a bit too near the mark." Because why are people like Icke talking about reptilians? Takes people away from maybe what actually is real. Because a lot of people,
to me, that don't matter though, John. Right? Like, if you know, I personally think that Saturn is beaming a frequency that is like changing the reality, right? And the things that we see, if that disappeared, maybe if the moon fucked off as well, like the kind of like the frequency that like the TV channel would change channel or whatever. And but if reality is that there's people walking around that look like us, but actually when there's a little glitch in the matrix, they pivot and pop to their natural form. I don't think it would matter whether it was a reptilian or a fucking giant bird, mate, or an ant or whatever else. Like, I know there's those other theories about the ant people. Like, any of that shit would just be terrifying. So, like, what if you're trying to hide the truth by saying let's not talk about the birds, let's put some reptiles up there instead? To me, I'm like, it don't matter. They're just as terrifying as each other.
Can you imagine going around and like everything that was in the Men in Black, the first film, like you were now aware of it and you could see it all, you know, like the post office workers and the bugs and that guy in the shop, you know, who had the knockoff Rolex watches and
yeah.
Can you imagine it?
Remember last week, Sean, you said you'd rather see a grey at the end of your bed rather than a manatee. Well,
100%. I can handle a little 3-foot thing with big eyes. It's like a drop kick that like a rugby ball out the window. But
would you rather see a vulture?
Mantis. One of these things coming at you.
Would you rather see a bird at the bottom of the bed with a big beak, like a massive vulture, or a praying mantis? I'm not sure.
I know. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a bird. I don't want to see a reptilian, and I don't want to see a praying mantis. Give me a grey alien all day long.
One of the original scary movies, actually, from the 70s, one of the original scary movies from the 70s was a movie called Birds. You're probably old enough to remember, John. But they actually like subconsciously put in your brain like birds are scary, you know, like.
Cheers, Nick. I'll slice.
Yeah.
I'm as old, mate. I'm as old. I just look young and live in Spain. That's all.
I'm not far off my next birthday, but yeah, I'm trying to forget them now. People go, "Oh, is it your birthday?" It's like, no, I don't know. I can't remember actually. Let's just forget that.
Yeah, move on.
30 is a good birthday. 30 is a good birthday, mate. It's all downhill from there, though. From 30, it's a good birthday. You look 30.
30, yeah. When was that? I'm more like Nero born in 1930.
Mate, you know what they say? You're only as old as the girl you feel.
Yeah, that's
or the reptile that you feel.
Yeah.
Let's have another one of these videos, shall we? Let's see where else we're going to go today. Random pick. What's this?
Okay, so this is freaking me out, something chronic. Okay, so check this out. So I've
done that one, haven't we? We did that one last week.
We did that one last week. That was the guy with the video camera, right?
Yeah. Let's look at different ones.
So I've never seen anything like this before. All of these dogs are fighting.
All got their teeth out.
At 11 seconds. The boss dog of the fucking world walks into this video. I have never seen any living being, forget about a fucking dog. I've never seen any living being with this type of fucking authority before. The dog walks into this situation. There is a gigantic cane corso to its right. The cane corso bows. The dog bows.
Yeah.
There is, to the dog's left, when you're looking at the video, a big German Shepherd who's chilling. The German Shepherd gets up and walks out as if to say, oh shit, the motherfucking one is here. It's like literally, the cane corso bows, gets down.
He does bow. He tips his head and everything.
And then the German Shepherd is thinking, oh my God, y'all done really fucked up now. Cause motherfucking Whitey Whitesaw is out in this motherfucker.
The dog's not even big.
Not big at all. The cane corso bows, and it's a cute, foofy little motherfucker. The pup walks over, gets on the dog, making the trouble.
All the other dogs scatter.
All the other dogs scatter. It then puts its paws.
That's the part.
At 17 seconds on top of this dog as if to say, shut the fuck up. Then, after the dog nips and bites a couple of times at it, it puts its right paw on his throat and says, shut up. I said, shut the fuck up. The other dog behind him, I'm calling this dog Big G. The dog behind Big G goes back into its cage. Like, look, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I've been around dogs my entire life.
That is wild.
King Charles.
Boss dog.
That's what he's called.
King Charles, John.
It is. That's what he's called. It's an Instagram channel called Nulu Princess, and I think it's somewhere in Asia and maybe in Japan or South Korea. And she's got millions of hits, this girl. and she will say like the king is, rules his domain. He will not allow bullying through any of his subjects, and
Really?
he will dominate a dog that's bullying another dog. He will come in and clear up, and he won't have it.
That's awesome.
He did
He's
get
not even
into
a big dog, though. He's not even a big dog. He's just fucking big ball energy. He's got
it's his energy. It's his aura. His name must be Neo or something. That's what it's like when I walk into a room of conspiracy theorists, you know?
That's his name. I swear to you, his name is called King Charles.
King Charles.
Well, my little dog, my previous dog, she was about 7 kilograms, and I seen her like literally control a Burble, a South African Mastiff.
Yeah.
His skin, she was like that big, and he was like about, I don't know, 12 stone. I'm going to find the Instagram channel now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy video, to be fair, to capture that. Like, just it's the energy that dog emits. It's like the other dogs know, like, yeah, don't fuck with that geezer.
Don't fuck with that geezer. He knows what he's doing. All right, let's do. We'll be going for 2 hours. Let's do one more, then we'll have a last little chin mag, then we'll round it off for tonight, shall we? If that's okay with you guys. All right, let's pick one randomly. What we're doing here? Let's go for this. What's this?
Okay, so this is footage of the 1986 disaster that literally shook the world. The rocket launch that was supposed to prove how far.
Did we see this one last time?
We've talked about it loads of times, that one, mate. We've already debunked that one. We're amateurs and we debunk that, Like,
yeah. Okay, we'll move on.
So I've never seen anything.
One, hang on, get rid of him. What's this one here?
Are you Michael Smith? Yeah. Are you aware of that? There's a rumor on the internet.
That's the same sort of one.
That's the astronaut from the Apollo.
Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of that as well then. What are we doing here? Let's have a look at what's this one?
Rockefeller was the best monopolist we've ever had. So he had a monopoly on oil and then transport and things like that, and they busted it up. So, well, what did he do? One thing he did, people don't know this, the original Model T Ford ran on corn alcohol. So a farmer could make their own fuel in their field. Why do you think he spent $1 million on funding prohibition for 8 years, which banned all fermentation, not just for drinking alcohol, just long enough to get gas stations based on petroleum out there? And then why did he fund the formation of the American Medical Association to go after and destroy natural medicine? Because pharmaceutical ingredients are all petroleum. So the big pharma companies were spun out of big oil companies. So big oil funded big chemical, and these big chemical companies funded big pharma. And they all come from the Rockefeller monopolistic thing. And even the latest evil stuff like the Bill Gates things going on, people don't know this. He's the largest owner of farmland in the country. You know what Bill Gates' dad did?
What?
He was Rockefeller's top attorney.
Is that what are we saying, that oil is not as scarce as they made out, Johnny boy? What are we saying, mate?
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. It might have been Ike, actually, who said oil is literally shit. It's like sewage, and it's abundant. It's continually produced by the planet. But now they're telling us, obviously, they've been telling us a while it's going to run out, and now they're trying to get us onto the EV cars, aren't they? So, now it's gone into the climate change. We went to, what was it called? Wasn't it the ozone layer? Do you remember that? It started off with the ozone layer, greenhouse gas effect, the greenhouse gases and all that. And there's a fucking big hole over the planet the size of Australia. In the ozone layer, and now we've got global warming. Now it's climate change.
So, they change every 20 years. They change it to something else. It's a scam.
I've sent you a video of King Charles. That's the YouTube channel of the girl that posts all about him.
Oh, he's bossing it. He's bossing.
That's with the Cane Corso, the big Italian Mastiff.
Hang on, bring it back up then. He's just bullying everybody. Nulu Princess, her name is. Okay.
Yeah, can you see that?
Look. I want that dog.
Look at the size of him.
Thorn thoroughly enjoys the King Charles massages.
This channel's taking a rebrand. We're now just going to become a dog channel.
That was like Romero and Harry Maguire, wasn't it, in the Europa League final?
Look, that Thorn. He's not. He's like he's hanging off the end of the bed. He's not even on the bed properly.
He's totally deferred to King Charles.
That's awesome.
He's the only King Charles that I'm on board with.
Size of that dog's shit pipe as well. See it? Absolute massive. Like most dogs have got a small. He's got a proper. Needs a bit of anal bleach in there. Jesus Christ! Yeah. What are we doing, King Charles?
You'd have to use the whole bottle, wouldn't you, on that one? That's probably why they're scared of you.
He's massive.
That's a boss dog. What a boss! And he's smaller than most of them as well. Which makes it even more amazing. Is they all respect him. You know, he's knowledgeable.
Absolutely sensational stuff. Sensational. What a find. What a find.
That's Romero and Harry Maguire, isn't it, in the Europa League final?
Yeah. Just lean over. Listen, guys. Cracking show. We've been going for 2 hours though, so I should probably wrap it up. But listen, I absolutely adore doing these. It's so much fun. I'll go onto Instagram and I'll go and find another 50 odd videos of random shit, or I'll get someone to do it for me if they can. And I'll reload the supply for next time. When are you guys are available next?
Weekend's always better for me, mate. Saturday's always a really good night. I'd much rather talk about conspiracies and have a beer than anything else these days. So Saturday's always a good night if we can fit that in. I think the audience as well is probably better for a Saturday night as well if you can schedule it on a Saturday. I don't know about John, but
they're all pissed.
Yeah, we're all pissed. It's called Only Cans. You have to have a drink when you're doing this show. It's the whole thing. Open-mindedness, having a beer, having a gin and tonic.
I haven't seen you drink, Sean. I haven't seen you. They're still the same cans 2 hours ago. I've had 2 bottles.
No, I've been drinking. I've had two
it's not called Only Cans, it's called Only Can.
Eugene didn't drink before he came on here tonight.
No, he's never
drank. A cup of tea. Right now. You need to have a little, like, if you, I'll tell you what I've noticed about conspiracies, right? If you have a little bit of a beer, I used to smoke a lot, but if you have a beer, you loosen up and you're a little bit more open-minded, you're a little bit more flexible with your train of thoughts, you know? Right. Yeah. If you're really stone sober, it's a lot harder to challenge your convictions and your beliefs and stuff. So I always find when these shows, a good beer, and I don't drink in case people watching the show think I'm a raging alcoholic. I'm not, you know, it's easier to kind of get into that zone when you're a little bit looser, you know?
No, for those of you that know me, you know I am a functioning alcoholic. I get up very early and do my work, and then I start drinking as soon as I can. Anyway, listen, great to have you, Nikos, as always, my man. John, brilliant to have you back, buddy. Brilliant to have you back. And to you, if you're still watching, mate, you are one funny man. I love having you on as well, bud. Appreciate everybody in the chat who's been with us tonight the whole time. Please do smash the like button, hit the subscribe as well, and we'll be back in a few days for another edition of Only Cans, and down the rabbit hole we go. See you tomorrow. See you next time. Bye.
Oh.